Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're going to make a roast prime rib of beef with a terrific dry rub. For this recipe you need a big old hunk of beef, a couple tablespoons of olive oil, and you need garlic salt, cumin, coriander, oregano, paprika, cayenne pepper, and pepper. Now, if you don't have all these spices, I'm not going to give you a ticket. You can kind of arrive to your own dry rib according to what you have in your spice cabinet. I've got this crazy spice cabinet. I collect spices for a living. Here we go. So I just grab some of these spices and I see what looks good and I make a rub. Now this rub is one I make a lot, so it's tried and true. But you just go to your own spice cabinet and I'm sure you've got some goodies there for yourselves. If you only had salt, I'd say don't let that slow you down. You just do a salt rub on your piece of beef. I use 3 tablespoons of garlic salt because I love that flavor on my beef. To that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cumin. And this is kind of clumpy, so I'm going to add a little extra because I'm eyeballing it. Next comes 1 teaspoon of coriander. That's dried and ground. 1 teaspoon of dried oregano leaves. 1 teaspoon of paprika, sweet paprika, but today I'm using smoked because that's what I grabbed quickest. I'm putting in 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. This gives it a little bite. I like a little bit, but not too much. And I'm going to grind in some fresh ground pepper, but you don't have to have fresh. Anything you got in your cabinet is fine. Might be about 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon of regular ground pepper. Let's mix it up. Now squish down any lumps of spices you might have, and you can smell it already. It smells really good. I'm putting the olive oil on the outside of the prime rib beef because I want the spices to stick. It's also called cross rib roast, and it was on sale for $4.99 a pound, which is good. That's a good price for me. So I bought a few of these and I stuck them in my freezer. I love to have a big Sunday dinner with this beef cut. It's beautiful. Or even for Christmas or some big holiday occasion or somebody's birthday. So then you just grab your spice rub and rub it all over. Flip them and do it again. I want to massage all these spices into that big piece of beef. I've turned my oven on 450 degrees to get it super hot because I'm going to sear him. So keep going with the olive oil and your spices. It makes such a great crust on the outside of that beef. Now, if you don't have garlic salt, you can just use regular salt and 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. But just do something to get some garlic flavor on the outside of your beef. There, now that was a perfect amount of spices for this 4-pound piece of beef. So there you go. I like it when it works out that way. Okay. Time for the inspection. He looks really good. It's time to stick him in that super hot oven and let's sear the heck out of him. So the object of this part is to get a crust on him that's a beautiful brown. So that's going to go in for 20 to 30 minutes, but that's it. Then you got to check them. It's been 30 minutes. I'm going to check how our beef looks. It's been sitting in a 450 degree oven. And that is what it looks like with the sear. I see a little brownness there. It's perfect. So that oven needs to go down to 200 degrees for the next part of this recipe. This oven is really hot. I'm leaving the oven open because I want all that extra heat to come out. I want to bring it down to 200 before this cooks anymore. Otherwise, what's going to happen is I'm going to have a very brown edge. I want my beef to be medium rare in the center. So it's 30 minutes per 1/2 pound at 200 degrees. And since this is 4 pounds, that's going to be 4 hours at 200 to have that perfect medium rare center of our prime rib. Yay! So this needs to sit out for maybe 20 minutes while that oven goes down to 200 degrees. Okay, it's been sitting out and that oven is now at 200 degrees. We're good. It's going to go in there 4 hours at 200 degrees because that's a 4-pound prime rib. It's been 4 hours. Let's check it. Oh, wow. Look at how pretty that is. Time for transfer. Wow. Oh my gosh, that looks great. This is a beautiful piece of meat. I've let this piece of beef rest for 5 minutes so the juices don't run out. I'm gonna cut off the bone. Sometimes in the market, the butcher will have done that for you. But this was on sale, so you gotta do some of the work yourself, but I'm willing. Now, don't you throw those ribs away. I will put those back in the oven at 300 degrees with a bunch of barbecue sauce for tomorrow night. So for your dinner party, you put it right back on those ribs because it gives it an extra pretty height to it. The moment of truth, let's hope that's medium rare inside. For me, that's how I like it. It's perfectly medium rare. If you want it medium, you crank it up to 250 for 4 hours, and then you'll have a perfectly medium prime rib of beef. Oh, yummy. So here's some beef. You can find those mashed potatoes on my channel too. By cooking this prime rib really slow, what happens is you get a really even color in the center, and it also makes it really tender. So my favorite bite is the one with a little bit of the crust on it. I love that dry rub. Okay, gotta dip it in that mashed potato. Wow, that is great. That crust is crispy and it's a little spicy, but not too spicy. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Bon appetit.